Morning, How are you? This is the third day I'm here. Last day in Seck. And this morning the talk is supposed to be on meditation. Before people start meditating, they should understand what is the purpose of meditation, what is Buddhist meditation. A lot of people don't investigate, so that's not good. The Buddha said, why are people, some people are born intelligent in the world, some are born stupid. Why? Because the Buddha said, if you don't know something and you don't go and ask, don't go and inquire, don't go and investigate, you're not going to be smart, you're not going to be intelligent. But if you don't know something, you take the trouble to ask, to find out, to investigate, examine, then you will become more intelligent. Even following any religion, if you are born into a certain religion and you don't go and investigate other religions, you're not going to know very much. Even if you follow a certain religion, there are many different types of teaching in that religion. For example, in Buddhism, we have 3 sects, 3 main sects. And even within that 3 main sects, there are different teachings. So, if you want to know the real teaching, you should go and investigate more. Coming back to meditation, nowadays there are many types of meditation that claim to be Buddhist meditation. And people even start inventing new types of meditation. So, we want to follow Buddhist meditation, we must find out exactly what is Buddhist meditation. The Buddha said that if any monk says that the Buddha taught like this and taught like that, you should not accept, you should not reject. You should compare it with the suttas and the Vinaya. The suttas refer to the earliest discourses of the Buddha in the 5 Nikaya. The Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Sangyutta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya and Uddaka Nikaya. And in the Majjhima Nikaya, Venerable Ananda was asked what type of meditation is praised by the Buddha. And he said the type of meditation that is praised by the Buddha is the first jhana, the second jhana, the third jhana, the fourth jhana. And he also said the type of meditation that is not praised by the Buddha is the type of meditation where you don't get rid of the 5 hindrances. So, the implication is that Buddhist meditation is only the 4 jhanas, which is samatha or samatha meditation. Also, since the type of meditation not praised by the Buddha is the type of meditation where the 5 hindrances are not eliminated, so it means the 4 jhanas is the type of meditation where the 5 hindrances are eliminated. Why do we want to eliminate the 5 hindrances? They are called hindrances because they are great obstructions. And the Buddha said in the Sangyutta Nikaya, Sutta 46.40, the Buddha said, monks, these 5 hindrances are causes of blindness, making lack of vision, causing lack of knowledge, blocking wisdom, resulting in annoyance or vexation, and leading away from Nibbana. These 5 hindrances normally people like to say sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry and doubt. But it's not exactly so. when these 5 things become strong and they obsess your mind frequently, and it is considered a hindrance. But if it is cut down to a low degree, then they do not obsess your mind frequently, and they are not called hindrances. So for some people, these 5 things, these hindrances are very strong. If they are very strong, they give you a lot of problem. This one is ill will, sensual desire. Sensual desire can be so strong that sometimes you see in the newspaper an old man rapes the daughter or rapes the granddaughter because he cannot control himself. The second one is ill will or anger. Sometimes because of, they call it road rage. Sometimes because of just fighting over a parking space, somebody is killed. So this is a result of anger. And then the others are not so obvious. Sloth and torpor is also quite obvious. If you have a lot of sloth and torpor, become lazy. Restlessness is another thing that disturbs us. And doubt is not so obvious. So the purpose of meditation is to get rid of the 5 hindrances. Tonight I will be talking about bhavana, development, which is development of character and development of mind. There I will explain in detail about getting rid of the 5 hindrances. Basically, in the suttas, the Buddha said there are 3 types of elimination of the 5 hindrances. One is short term. Short term is, the Buddha said, if you listen to the dhamma with eager ears, attending to it as a matter of vital concern, directing your whole mind to it, on that occasion, the 5 hindrances are not present, and the 7 factors of enlightenment are developed. So if we pay focused attention, temporarily we get rid of the 5 hindrances. That's why you find the suttas in the Vinaya, if people listen to the Buddha's dhamma, the Buddha's discourses, with a focused mind, for example, for 1 hour, you listen with a focused mind, you can understand, and you can get stream entry. You become an Arya just by listening. Listening is so important to the suttas that the Buddha called all his disciples, whether monks or nuns or laymen or laywomen, all are called hearers or listeners by the Buddha. The Pali word is savaka. In Chinese it's called senwen, listeners or hearers of his words. So if you don't listen to the Buddha's discourses in the early suttas, you're not considered a Buddhist. That's what the Buddha says. So, to understand the working of the mind, the Buddha, and to understand how to tame the mind, Buddha gave a simile in the Samyutta Nikaya 35.247. The simile is about 6 animals. Buddha said a hunter caught 6 animals. These 6 animals is a eagle, a monkey, a snake, a crocodile, a dog, a jackal. So these 6 animals, the hunter tied a rope around each of their necks, and then the 6 ropes he tied into a knot and he released them. What happens? The eagle wants to fly into the air. The monkey wants to climb up the tree. The snake wants to go into the hole to hide. The crocodile wants to go into the river. The dog wants to go into town to look for food. The jackal wants to climb up the hill. So these 6 animals are pulling in 6 different directions. And whichever one is the strongest, he pulls, the others have to follow him. Then later when he gets tired, another strong animal will pull, the others have to follow him. This is the working of our mind. Our Six senses are being pulled by the six sense objects. Sights or forms want us to see. Sounds want us to hear. Smells want us to detect smell. And taste want us to be aware of the taste. And touch also want us to be aware. And thoughts want to pull us to think. So our six senses are being distracted, are being pulled by these six objects all the time. So now, for example, you are listening to my voice, you are paying attention to my voice. If a car outside suddenly horns, and then you'll be pulled by the sound, you'll pay attention. Or now the drums are going, playing, you might be listening to that. So our mind is scattered, very scattered, because it is pulled by the six senses. So we don't have strength of mind, we don't have control over our mind. And if we don't have strength of mind, then we are overwhelmed by these five hindrances. These five hindrances obsess our mind. So we need to get a hold of our mind. And how do we do that? The Buddha gave a simile using these six animals again. Buddha said, these six animals, after you tie their necks, the six ropes, you must tie to a strong post or a strong pole. Then whichever way they fly, they run, they jump, they will only go round and round that post. They go round and round that post until they are tired, and they will lie down obediently beneath the pole. So tying them to one pole is fixing our attention on one object. Our mind does not like to pay attention to only one object. Our mind likes to be distracted by the six objects. So when we meditate, we put our attention on one object. And the Buddha's meditation is to be mindful of the breathing. So you sit down and you are mindful of your breathing. After a while, your mind runs away. You pull it back to your breathing. Then it runs away again, you pull it back, and you keep it on your breathing. Doing these two things is using two factors called vitakka and vichara. Vitakka is thought directed. Vichara is thought sustained. So whenever your mind runs away, you direct it back to your breathing. That is thought directed, vitakka. And then you keep your attention on the breathing. That is thought sustained, vichara. So you only use these two things. Every time the mind runs away, you pull it back to your breathing. Every time it runs away, you pull it back to your breathing. So that is how we tame our mind. That's how we practice meditation, to put our attention on one object all the time. Nowadays, there's another type of meditation that is popular. It's called vipassana. But during the Buddha's time, during the Buddha's days, there was no such thing as vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation is what we practice outside of meditation in everyday life. In everyday life, a lot of things upset us. So we have to use mindfulness directed to the four objects of sati. And then we also practice right effort, get rid of unwholesome states and to develop wholesome states. That is vipassana, which I will talk about tonight. That is how we get a hold of our mind also outside of meditation. So the Buddha's meditation is anapanasati, mindfulness of the breath, the in-breath and out-breath. And the Buddha said to use that, we have to use satipatthana. Satipatthana is intense state of mindfulness. It is not ordinary mindfulness, it is intense state. And to make us understand this, the Buddha gave a simile of the most beautiful girl of the land. This is in Samyutta Nikaya 47.20. The Buddha said, one day, the most beautiful girl of the land came out. And when the people saw her, they clapped their hands and shouted, the most beautiful girl of the land. And then more people came to see her. And then they asked her to sing and dance. So she started to sing and dance, and everybody clapped their hands. And more people came to see her sing and dance. Then an ordinary guy came along. They caught him and told him, you have to carry this bowl of oil filled to the brim and walk among the crowd. And there's a man walking behind you with an upraised sword. If you spill even one drop of the oil, we will chop off your head. So this man is forced to carry the bowl of oil among the crowd of people. Does he dare to look left and look right? Dare not. Does he dare to look at the beautiful girl? Dare not. He pays full attention on the oil all the time because his life depends on it. So the Buddha said, this is to make us understand that in practicing Satipatthana, we have to pay attention on one object all the time. And the Buddha said that bowl of oil represents mindfulness directed to the body. Whenever our mindfulness is not directed to our body, we are not aware of our body, our mind will start running. This is because of the uncontrolled flow of consciousness. This is called asava. In the Buddha's discourses, we continue on the round of rebirths because of this asava, the flow of consciousness. Consciousness creates the world, creates the seeing world, the hearing world, the smell, taste, touch world, the outside world. Thinking creates the inner world. So, whenever we are not mindful of our body, we will start thinking and start daydreaming, etc. So if you pull our attention back to the body, then you are in the here and now. So that is how to practice Satipatthana, and we use that in sitting meditation. So in the practice of meditation, we sit down and then we keep our spine very straight and we put our attention on our breathing. Now, in meditation, we have to know the factors that are conducive to meditation. What are the conditions that are conducive to meditation? To make us understand that, the Buddha gave a simile of a cook. The Buddha said there was this cook, was the cook of a king. So the intelligent cook of the king, he will observe what the king likes to eat, whether he likes to eat spicy food, or salty food, or sweet food, or bland food, etc. So he cooks according to what the king likes to eat, and the king is happy, the king will reward him very well. But the stupid cook, he does not care he does not observe what the king likes to eat, and he just cooks whatever he likes. So the king won't be happy and maybe won't even employ him. We see in Cantonese, Chao Yao Yi, give him the sack. So in the same way, the Buddha said, in meditation, we also have to observe what our mind likes. For example, the time of meditation. Do you know what's the best time for meditation? A lot of people don't know. If you investigate yoga in the Hindu tradition, there are 2 hours before dawn, 2 hours before dusk is the best time. That is the time when our body slows down. Our body is not so active. So in Malaysia, that would be 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's the best time for meditation. You try to meditate after your lunch, sit down and you'll be sleepy, groggy, yeah. So time is one factor we have to consider. Another one is, for example, the type of food that suits you. So some people like me have gastric ulcer. If I take sour-rich food, I get a lot of flatulence, a lot of gas. That will make me weak and upset my system. So you have to notice what type of food, what type of drink suits you or does not suit you. For example, for us monks and nuns, we don't take dinner. So if at night we take coffee, that will upset us. Coffee at night. Some people can't sleep. Some people on an empty stomach, you take coffee, you might get gastric problems, flatulence and all that. So this is observing the conditions, and also the place, the temperature. Certain place that is too hot is not suitable. A certain place that is too noisy and meditating with all the drums going on, it's not very suitable. So all these conditions, you have to be aware. And yesterday morning I gave some meditation instructions. And I'll just recapitulate. When we observe our breathing, we observe our breathing from the nostril as it goes in the nostril and goes down to our abdomen. And you should follow the breathing. It's only later books like this Visuddhi Magga, they say you should contemplate only at one point, at the tip of your nose or on your upper lip. This is not the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha's teaching, you should be aware of your whole body. If you're not aware of your whole body, your mind tends to run. If you try to focus only on one point, and you focus a bit harder, you get samadhi headache. You find all cramp around your third eye, around your head. I know of two monks who practice very hard, the breath at one single point, and they got pain in the head. And then they asked the teacher, the teacher asked them to continue. And then they got a permanent pain, and one of them had to disrobe, cannot meditate anymore. Another one also could not meditate anymore after that. So, in meditation also, we have to use our wisdom, see the different conditions. So we watch our breath from the nostril down to our abdomen. If you have good karma, mind is a happy mind. It calms down much faster. Then you are able to follow your breath from the nostril down to your abdomen, up and down, up and down. And if you can continue doing that slowly, you don't have distractions, your mind starts to become one-pointed. So just now I said, to meditate we have to use the two factors, vitakka and vichara, thought directed and thought sustained. Direct it to the breath and then sustain it on the breath. So using these two factors, if we can watch the breath longer and longer, slowly the mind starts to become one-pointed, starts to unify. Not like the ordinary scattered mind. So when your mind is able to unify, it energizes, not like the ordinary mind that is so scattered. So when it energizes, it's a healthy mind. So three things come together. First one is ekagata, one-pointedness of mind. The second, the other two that come along with ekagata is piti and sukha. Sukha is bliss, because you have a healthy mind. Bliss arises from within. The bliss arises, a deep bliss, not like ordinary sensual pleasures. This is a different kind of bliss. It's comes from deep within, much more satisfying. But it's different altogether from sensual pleasures. And then it comes along with delight. When you experience that, you are very delighted. But the problem is when you are delighted, a lot of people get excited. And you get too excited, just like falling off the chair. You fall out of your samadhi. So then you regret, and then you want to remember, retrace your steps to get back to that state. So if you can get back to that state, very good. But the problem is many of us, our mind is not so well developed, and especially as we grow old, our faculties become weaker, and you're not able to see your breath so clearly. But even if you can't see your breath so clearly from the tip of your nostril, from your nostril down to your abdomen, you still must pay attention on your whole body. Because as long as you pay attention on your whole body, you pay attention on your posture, whether you're sitting straight, pay attention on your hands, where your hands are, pay attention on your legs. And as long as you're aware of your body, the mind, even though it runs away, it comes back to the here and now, comes back to your breathing. And then because you can't see your breath so clearly, what you can do is you use a more simple way. When the breath goes in and goes out, you count 1. Goes in and goes out, you count 2. Goes in and goes out, you count 3. Just keep counting up to 10. And after that, count 1 again, 2, 3, up to 10. So it's a more simple way because you can't see your breath so clearly. Because our breath is a very subtle object. Subtle object is hard to notice. Because it's hard to notice. As long as you keep what we want to do is tie our attention to one object, not allow it to run. If you are able to do that for long, even though you can't tie it very strongly, you just keep it there slowly over a period of time. It gets stronger and stronger, your concentration. So when it gets stronger and stronger, these 5 jhana factors you have, vitaka, vichara, ekagata, piti and sukha. When you have these 5 factors and you feel the bliss and the delight, you start to experience jhana, the first jhana. But since our mind is not strong, normally when a person attains even that state, you fall out of that jhana very soon. So you have to keep practicing to prolong that jhana. If you can keep practicing, if your first jhana becomes stronger and stronger and stronger, then only you are ready to consider going into the second jhana. So I don't need to talk too much about that.